Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into AVADirect. Today we're going to be reviewing two brand new products from AMD, the 3800 XT and the 3600 XT. Both are brand new CPUs, they're refreshes, so they're kind of new, kind of not. Anywho, let's get into the review. So right off the bat, both of these CPUs are launching at a very budget-conscious price point, with the 3600 XT launching at $249 and the 3800 XT launching for $399. Now, both of these CPUs are directly competing with Intel. Unfortunately, we don't have any 10 series CPUs to compare them to just yet, so we had to compare them to the 9th gen series CPUs from Intel, but they are very, very admirable in terms of performance. Pretty close. You'll see them on the benchmarks here in a second. Now, the 3600 XT itself is going to be kind of on the more budget-conscious side. It's going to be mainly suited towards gamers and people that are doing some light workstation tasks, such as some Excel spreadsheets, maybe some minor video editing. That being said, it's going to perform admirably in any games you might throw at it and any minor workstation-related tasks you might throw at it, and just general use. It's going to be great. The 3800 XT, on the other hand, however, also great for gamers, but it starts to sort of teeter into that workstation use sort of tier of CPU. It's not going to be the most highest performing CPU if you're looking for something for 3D modeling or video editing, but it will perform admirably, especially if you're doing entry-level stuff and maybe as side gigs. You'll see that in the benchmarks in a second. Again, they're not going to be exactly the same as the 9th gen CPUs from Intel in terms of performance. They're going to be either surpassing in some tasks, or they're going to be just a little bit behind in other tasks, but the price difference is immense, seeing as how the 9700K, which is more so comparable to the 3600 XT, is $420 MSRP versus the 3600 XT's $249, and the 9900K, which is comparable to the 3800 XT in terms of core count and in terms of thread count, is 580 versus the MSRP of the 3800 XT being at $399. Now, speaking of core counts, you're going to be looking at a 6-core 12-thread on the Ryzen 5 3600 XT, and you're going to be looking at an 8-core 16-thread on the 3800 XT. So, pretty admirable specifications. You're going to see that the 3000 XT series CPUs do outperform their Intel counterparts in the multi-core test from Cinebench. However, in the single-core test, the 3600 XT is going to lag behind a little bit, as well as the 3800 XT, but we're only talking a factor of about 2 to 4 points here. In Geekbench, you're going to see that Intel is going to outperform the 3000 series counterparts, but not by a whole lot. The graph may make it seem like that, but if you look at the number values, it's not a very big difference. It's not going to outperform it by much in PCMark, a conventional, or 3D Mark TimeSpy's CPU test either. So now that we're done with benchmarks, let's go over some of the key differences that AMD's introduced with these new refresh CPUs. Now, there aren't many. On paper, there's a few minor differences. You've got some larger cache, and the 3600 XT has a boost clock of 4.5 gigahertz as opposed to 4.4 from the 3600X, and the 3800 XT received the same treatment with a boost clock of 4.7 as opposed to a boost clock of 4.5 with the 3800X. Both have a 3.8 and 3.9 gigahertz base clock respectively. So some minor cache increase as well, and that's really pretty much it. You're not going to see much on paper different. Core counts are still the same. You know, they're still 6-core 12-thread and 8-core 16-thread CPUs respectively, but you're going to have about a 10% increase in performance almost all across the board in terms of workstation related tasks. Gaming, probably not going to be that much of a difference, maybe a few FPS, but that's within the margin of error. That being said though, despite the minor differences, still an extremely good value compared to anything Intel's offering at the moment. So if you guys want to assemble a PC that's a little bit more budget conscious, feel free to go to avadirect.com, peruse our site, see what you like, and if there's any questions, feel free to give us a call on our sales line, and feel free to shoot an email to sales@avadirect.com to configure your brand new system with a new 3000 XT series CPU. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to our